Hey Attackers, it's Tad here from Attack of the Killer Podcast with a new video update. As always, thanks for your support, thanks for listening, watching these, commenting, subscribing, all the stuff you guys do, not just donating money, which is fantastic. We try to keep pumping out some new stuff and fun stuff, and we're really thankful for that we can keep doing that because of you guys. So I have a new video update. I visited Spirit Halloween for the first time this season. So I'm not sure when this one will go up, but it's not even September yet, end of August, and obviously getting that itch. So yesterday my wife Nikki and I drove probably about an hour and a half to what is the closest Spirit store open right now, which is in a different state, Peoria, Illinois. We don't get one here in town. We've had a general Halloween store before pop up, and I think they had like a lot of employees stealing, and they had a hard time keeping good workers there, so it never came back. But we don't get a Spirit here in this town. Closest is probably 45 minutes to an hour away, and this is the one that's happens to be open right now, so I wanted to go and snag a few things before they sold out. So as you can see, I got my Spirit bag here, so I figured I would show off some stuff that I got because I am a sucker, and I'll have another video of more stuff coming. I had a friend who was at this Spirit last weekend, and he bought some stuff that we were afraid would sell out, so luckily he jumped on a few things and has those for me. But I'm just going to go through and show you what I got at Spirit. They put out these vintage masks this year. They're sort of the old style plastic vacuum form masks, but they're really cool. They have this vintage cat one, which is definitely cool. Vintage Halloween, has a little orange hat, the cool yellow eyes, and that smile you might recognize from some of the old vintage Halloween decorations. And then they put out like a partner here, which is the pumpkin with the creepy smile and the little hat. I was not completely sold on these until I saw them, and then I'm a sucker and I know that these are getting hard to find, so I had to snag them. What's interesting is that they're adult sized, as you can see, and I'm not going to put it on because there's a pandemic going on right now, but they have like foam in the inside so you can actually wear them with a strap, so they're a little bit nicer than the ones that you'd get in those like kids costumes in the 60s and 70s. But they also have like a colored mesh over the eyes so that you can't see the eyes right through it. And then these are the ones I was really looking for. These seem to be very popular this year. Every year Spirit has like a handful of items that are really popular and hard to get, and they sell out everywhere and people go nuts for them. Last year they had the Sam statue that I showed you in a previous video, and now when I went to Spirit in Peoria they had like 5 of those. So Spirit needs to figure their shit out, because it seems like they put stuff out in short supply, people go nuts over it, and they sell out, so they didn't make enough. They could have made a killing on it, and then the next year they make more of them, but they make too many, and everybody's already like forgotten about it. So I don't know what the solution is, but anyways, these things are really, really cool. I didn't get the whole collection because I'm not in love with the whole collection, but they're doing these vintage monster masks, which are really cool. Not only are they cool characters and sculpts, but they're really cool paint jobs is what to me sells them. Cool vintage werewolf, obviously. I love the yellows and the browns and orangish brown, white, and black accents. This one's really cool. My wife says it looks like me. These all of them run $12.99, so they add up really quick, but you can always find a Spirit coupon somewhere. I had like a 25% off coupon. Should have made my wife buy some separately so we could use the coupon more than once, but it only takes like $3 off one mask, so this was an expensive trip. This one, actually I'm going to skip this one for now because I'm going to save it for later. Obviously, you can't have vintage monsters without Frankenstein. And they must have produced the most of this one because they had the most of these at the store. They still had probably a dozen or so. And obviously the most popular character, Frankenstein's monster. They all have the same, SKU up here. Vintage monster. yeah, these are all the same price, and like I said, the stuff inside, but the paint job on this is pretty cool. Obviously inspired by Universal Monsters and Boris Karloff, and yeah, I really like the paint, the hard lines and stuff for the shadows and wrinkles, stitching. Yeah, it just reminds you of the really cool old vacuum form masks. They do have a little paint slop. This one specifically, I should have probably checked out more, but I was just excited to find them. We have like a black line right here on his nose. I don't know if you can see that a little bit. And then I think there's some red paint dripped underneath his nose there. But overall, I mean, my idea, I'm not going to be wearing these, I don't think. What my idea is when you walk in our house, we have like an arch that you walk under, and I'm going to put them across the arch. That's my idea anyways. And then, of course, you can't have classic monsters without your mummy, which I'd have to look and see if the other ones, they're missing the paint on, he has 2 teeth over here that they didn't paint like the other ones, so I'm not sure if that was intentional. Like, again, some paint slop over here. But they're $12. I mean, these probably should be like $6, half the price, or even $10. But $13 is $12.99 is a bit of a stretch, but they're just so cool. And this one is very cool and menacing. Like I said, they're nice and big. Obviously, I can't wear them because I have the beard, but I just love the green and yellows and browns, and just really cool. You know, it's a cool sculpt under a cool paint job. It's interesting, like, looking at these, though, because they're all sort of glossy, but Frank is considerably more glossy than the rest. You can see the reflection on him. He's just really wet looking compared to the rest of them. And surprisingly, they didn't make a bride, which is really weird. And my favorite, so last but not least, certainly, is the vampire. I love this guy. Look at that paint job. He's got blood dripping down his mouth. He's got the blue and purple eyes and the big, widow's peak, and the hair popping up in the corners with the big eyebrows and the pointy ears, everything. This one's just really cool. I don't even know if it necessarily looks vintage. It just looks evil. It reminds me of what like Piggy D would wear in Rob Zombie's band. He has something that's like this that he wears. And like I said, I was pretty lucky. I think I got the last mummy, vampire, and werewolf. They had plenty of the Frank, and they had plenty of the other one I didn't get. There's 2 I didn't get technically. There's one other monster one I didn't get, and it's a vampire, because one I already have a vampire, but I probably should have bought it to finish the collection. But I have a cool old vintage vampire that, or not vampire, devil. I'm sorry, it's Satan. A devil, and I already have a cool old devil mask that I will display with these. It's a little bit smaller, I think, or maybe not, looking at these now. One thing I did notice, though, is the vampire doesn't have mesh over his eyes like the rest of them. I guess it's because his eyes are already squinted enough that it'd be hard to see out of. I don't know. I just noticed that while doing this. Oh, and the werewolf doesn't have either, so maybe the more squinted eyes. But they have, like I said, they have a Satan, a devil one, and then they also have a clown, which isn't part of the vintage monsters, but it's like a vintage clown mask, and it's very much like the Rob Zombie's Halloween, where the has a sort of tilted hat and a grin and stuff, and it's fine, but it doesn't, to me, really fit in with the rest of these. Like I said, I was sort of split on even if I was going to get the cat and the pumpkin, but they just scream old-timey Halloween, which is really cool, so I had to pick them up. So yeah, that's what I got on my first trip to Spirit Halloween. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're bored of this stuff. Anytime I get stuff, I'm like, I gotta show it off on video. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope I'm not completely boring you. So again, thanks, and I'll see you next time on Attack the Killer Podcast.